Hey everybody, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland. Don Henley is back in the headlines. He's right smack dab in the middle of a court case where he is claiming that lyric sheets on note papers were stolen from the Eagles. They were lent but kept permanently, winding up on the auction block, and he is citing a 1979 Eagles contract for his defense. My only question is, since when does Don Henley believe in contracts? All right, to get the ball rolling, I'm going to read a couple of quick excerpts from this article so that we can get our bearings here, folks. And basically here in this article, it states that Don Henley made a third and final appearance in a Manhattan court on Wednesday, testifying in a criminal case involving nearly 100 pages of allegedly stolen Eagles lyrics from the Hotel California era. Now, it goes on here to state that Henley first became aware that the lyric pages were appearing on auction websites in 2012. He bought back pages for $8,500, but Henley chose not to move forward with purchases when more surfaced in 2014 and 2016. I had already been extorted once, he said during his first day of testimony on Monday. I wasn't going to do it again. Now, all of the documents here could apparently be traced back to Ed Sanders, who was tasked with writing a book about the Eagles in the late 70s and early 80s. Sanders reportedly sold 5 legal pads of the lyrics to Horowitz for $50,000. Now, the case gets basically down to this. These are lyrics that are written on note paper pads, right? Just like every single songwriter I know. That's how we do it. We write out the words on a scratch paper, sometimes on a napkin, folks. And if the songwriter is very popular, and of course Don Henley is popular, those original manuscripts can be worth quite a bit of money on the black market. And if they are obtained legally, even more money on the legal market. Now, the article doesn't get in too much to what this 1979 Eagles contract is all about. But Don Henley states that it was always clear that these lyrics were being loaned out and that they were to be returned to the band when the project was over. Now, as far as this case goes, I am firmly in Don Henley's camp. I'm a songwriter. If anything I ever wrote became worth anything, I'd want all properties concerning that song. And it really just gets down to the basic moral question. These lyrics belong to Don Henley. Actually, those lyrics probably also belong to Don Felder if they include the Hotel California lyrics, as this article seems to imply. But you see, that's the bugaboo for me. It's the way that Don Henley is fighting this case, all of a sudden relying on old Eagle contracts to make sure that he is seen as the original writer and therefore owner of these legal pads. And yet, older Eagle contracts are exactly what were ignored by Glenn Frey and Don Henley when they tried to powerball Don Felder right on out of that band. And folks, that's exactly what they did. Now, here's an interesting thought. If indeed he wins this case, and if indeed Hotel California, co-written by Don Felder, is involved in this, could this be a way in for Don Felder? I don't even care if Felder tours with them anymore, but I'd love to see the guy get his portion of that band, more and beyond what he had already won in his own legal battles. As longtime viewers know, I've always felt he was given the short shrift. I am a major Eagles fan. I love Fry's songs. I love Don Henley's songs. But they could be assholes. And when it came to Don Felder, that's exactly what they became. First of all, it was Glenn Frey who couldn't stand him, but he was best buddies with Don Henley, and you never knew if Don Henley was short shrifting Don Felder the whole time behind his back. You see, Don Henley to me is one of those mealy-mouthed guys, and you can even see it in interviews and everything. He demurs to Glenn Frey often, but he's always chit-chatting in the background, trying to get his way, and then let Glenn Frey be the loudmouth or his spokesperson. You could see this in the Hell Freezes Over DVD. Sitting there, oh, I don't know, they sound like a bunch of white folks. You know, when he was criticizing the orchestra as they were trying to get it together for the show. But you know, despite all of that and my criticisms of Don Henley, I have to be on his side when it comes to this court case. He was the writer in those songs. Those songs are his children. Get away from the man's kids. Okay, so that all leads me to the question for the tribe tonight. What do you guys think about this case? Does Don Henley deserve to win this case? What do you think his chances are of winning this case? And what do you think about him all of a sudden using a contract to make his point when it was a contract that him and Glenn both decided to ignore when they wanted to kick Don Felder out of the Eagles? All right, folks, that's the video for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That helps the YouTube algorithm better disperse the video to a wider audience. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe you've just been viewing it on and off, it's easy. All you have to do is hit that subscribe to the tribe button, tap that top bell icon, and you'll be notified of all my future videos. All right, folks, I'm Michael Noland. This is The Bottom Line, or at least as I see it, and together, you and I, in the comments, we are the tribe.